Hey there, my name is Sjöfors. I know it's a little weird name. It makes perfect sense in my native Sweden, but I've been here in Los Angeles now for almost 30 years, so I can assure you that I spelt it many times to many people. Maybe it's easier to remember me as the Price Whisperer. It's a moniker that I didn't invent at all. Just people called me the Price Whisperer so many times that I decided to adopt it. Easier to find. You can always Google me on that. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about how you present pricing. How do you present your pricing strategy? And what spurred me to do this particular little video was that I'm looking for a cloud storage solution for my company. As we're growing, we're getting more and more of these large files, and sharing them is a little bit of a hassle, if nothing else, because we're a virtual company, and the solutions that are out there is not really good enough, at least not the ones that I've encountered so far. And I'm not going to mention any names here, of course, but it's some are so cheap that they just are not any good, and they're, not very good user interface or anything like that. But we're going to talk about how you present pricing. And in this quest, I was looking for, I did a Google search again to find out maybe a list of alternatives to the most popular cloud storage, shared cloud storage solutions. And I clicked the link, and it was like, whoa! Why? So we have this company who the first thing I see when I go to their website is $175. And then I look a little bit to the right and it says $350. Right? And these are software packages that you typically buy at, I don't know, like $5 a month, $10 a month. And to make it even worse, there was no value description at all. Why would I suddenly want to pay $175, $350 for something that I don't even know what it is? Right? Absolutely crazy. All right, so I looked a little further into a little bit of the fine print, and it was a lifetime purchase. I think the difference was that for $175 you got a certain number of storage, and for $350 you got twice that or three times as much or something like that. But the point is that it was such a really shock for me. Because I didn't expect that at all. I expected to go to a website and see some kind of value statement, see why I should buy this, why it's different than the competition, why maybe some customer endorsements, maybe a list of features, maybe a sort of list of comparing features of different versions of the product. No. It was just big, bold. These were big, bold, and I'm talking about numbers here that took a quarter of the screen. And it was a number, and it was price. And the message this says to me is that, Mr. Customer, this company messaged me, is that you're going to buy our product only because of price, for no other reason. Because there was no value description. Again, I could scroll down and I could see it. But the damage was already done. I clicked away, obviously. They're not interested in doing business with me because they're not interested in even telling me what they do before they present the price. It's absolutely crazy, and I just wonder, how did they think? Or maybe they didn't think at all. Maybe that's the issue. And it reminds me of another company, a large public company with very high valuation in the high-tech space. Again, no names, obviously. And I talked to their, I think it was a director of pricing or director of something, rather. And he said, we're having this tremendous problem with our pricing, he said, because people are just complaining and complaining of how expensive we are. And our salespeople out there, they have to invent any different reasons why they should do business with us because we are so expensive. We have this perception in the market of being so expensive. So I went to their website. I looked at the pricing page, and I scrolled down pages after pages after pages. So very different than the first story here. Actually quite the opposite. But one thing was kind of the same, and it was it kept on repeating how cheap they were. We are so low cost. We are so cheap. We are so affordable. You can afford us. We are cheaper than anybody else in the industry. So it doesn't matter what the price was when I eventually got to the price after scrolling 3 or 4 pages. My expectation of the price was that it was this small. And of course it wasn't this small, it was maybe that small. But my expectation was set that they would be really, really low cost. And they were low cost, but they wasn't as low cost as the expectation that I've been given from their marketing copy, right? So I told the director, just change your website and you don't have a pricing problem anymore. I then spoke to him about a month, maybe 6 weeks later, something like that, and he said, we changed the website and people stopped complaining about our prices, right? So how you present and in the context you present your prices makes a big difference, And this is a mistake that a lot of people do occasionally, And another kind of possibly interesting story on this, and I'm using this in my webinars and as an example. Imagine you're walking into this restaurant, right? You really want that steak, and you look at the menu and you'll find the steak and it's $28, and you say to yourself, well, that's kind of not what I can afford, even though I want it, So you end up having a hamburger at $8.50 instead, or maybe $9.50. And why is that? Well, it is because on that menu there is a plain steak and a plain hamburger. 2 products without any value description. They're just a steak, and a hamburger. Now, as you may know or may not know, what we do in my company is that we measure how sales volume is affected by different prices, and we can do that very accurately. And we did a little test here for this particular restaurant. We measured what the sales volume that the restaurant would get without a value proposition, which is what they had today, and with a value proposition. A good value proposition that said, this steaks come from this particular farm. It's the poor cow is reared in a certain way, and it's a particular kind of meat and so forth. And lo and behold, it showed that with the value proposition, twice as many people walking into the restaurant would elect to buy the steak, because suddenly there was a defense for the higher prices, because there was a value description. And then to make this possibly funnier. I went online and I looked at a bunch of menus that I could find online, and restaurants don't have value descriptions to their steaks. I found one restaurant, they had a value description of 44-ounce steak. I don't know. That must be for a family. No, I'm getting wrong. It was a pound, so it was a 16-ounce steak, but it was $44, and no value proposition. They had value propositions for their salads, for their pastas, but not for their steaks. Creates a lot of happy cows, of course, because they're still alive. But that's not so much of your concern when you're in business. You want to sell, and you want to sell as much as you can. So a value proposition to your price is crucial, and obviously a value proposition that is going to drive a higher sales volume at higher prices. Not only any old value proposition. You need to know what value proposition will be most effective in driving higher sales at higher prices, and set a pricing strategy that is appropriate for that, of course. So anyway, I hope you learned a little bit on this video, and that you continue to follow me, and I want to thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time. Take care.